Before you listen, if you enjoy the stories and want to hear more, then please consider subscribing. Most of you listening aren't subscribed, so please take this time to subscribe. Turn on notifications so you'll never miss a story and be the first to hear. You'll also be supporting me. Thank you. My cheap particle board desk from college finally collapsed under a tower of unfiled paperwork. Guess that's what I get for trying to run my business on ramshackle dorm room furniture. Time to adult up and buy an actual grown-up desk from Craigslist. Found a solid wood one for $75 being sold by a nice older lady. Even delivered it to my apartment for free cause she said her son was doing nothing anyways. Score. I cleared a new spot by the window with a nice view of the alley and parked that beast. Sturdy mid-century style and a warm acorn finish. This baddie was built to last. Rolled up my sleeves and reorganized the contents from Desky 1.0 into the smooth drawers. Tax stuff in the top left, office supplies no right. Bottom drawer I designated for random junk to deal with someday. Maybe. Out of sight, out of mind. First week with it. Kinda dug having an anchor spot for getting work done instead of lounging with my laptop in bed. Felt more executive. I mean, an 8-year-old could probably pick the desk's simple lock with a paperclip, but still brought a sense of authority. Plus could stash snacks discreetly to maintain peak brain function. About a month later, I was digging for a pen when I noticed the bottom drawer felt heavier rolling open. Odd. Don't remember putting anything too weighty in there, but peering down, everything looked normal. Just a few rogue energy bar wrappers and orphaned cords chilling. Shrugged and continued about my day, chunking out spreadsheets and such. Few nights later, I was burning midnight oil on an urgent client report that required accessing some old external drive files. Recalled stashing one in the bottom drawer last week. Pulling it open with a hearty tug, I accidentally dislodged some stuff, making a loud thunk hitting wood. Odd. The drawer shuffled open a couple inches before juddering to a stop, blocked by something. Annoyed, I yanked harder while fishing around the opening for the cord. Fingers grazed something cool and metal and damp. I shuddered. The heck? Heart pounding, I gingerly reached deeper into the drawer, fingers slowly curling around the object. Felt like a handle of some sort connected to a long, flat shaft. Swallowing panic, I extracted the mysterious item, immediately dropping it with a shriek. A freaking hunting knife lay accusingly on my desk, gleaming under the lamp. About 8 inches with a solid heft bearing vicious jagged edges. Dried maroon streaks coated the ragged tip all the way down the engraved handle. Unmistakable. Blood. Somebody's actual blood. I leaped back, hyperventilating, nearly bowling over the desk as my trembling hands covered a scream. No. How did a bloody blade get stashed in an old desk drawer? Did I accidentally purchase a murder weapon or something? What? Questions ricocheted through my brain, pinging against waves of confusion and fear. Heaping at the crimson evidence, I couldn't process anything logical. Body in full freak-out mode now, I stumbled away from the desk towards the kitchen, grabbed my phone, and managed to punch 911. Babbling through panicked sobs, I told the operator about the knife. She calmly asked clarifying questions. Am I hurt? Arrived how? Touched it. Her smooth voice barely penetrating my crazy mental state. I shuddered out a description of the gruesome discovery, insisting the desk came from a nice old Craigslist lady. How was this knife inside then? She advised me not to touch anything further until help arrived. I paced the apartment, checking door locks while awaiting the cavalry beyond rattled. Our building's pretty secure though. No way an intruder planted contraband in solid wood furniture. Had to have already been tucked inside when I bought it, which opened up a whole new cascade of terrifying what-if questions about the desk's mysterious past life. A curt knock at the door made me yelp before remembering it's the police. Cracked it to ID the visitors, then allowed 2 officers inside. I recounted my freaky tale to their stoic expressions, feeling less nuts but way more creeped out with each detail. We walked solemnly while I pointed toward the bloody evidence like a tattling kid. The older cop took charge, carefully peering inside before donning gloves and bagging the knife. He eyed me, saying forensics could likely pull prints and trace DNA to unravel this mystery. I shuddered, praying for non-murdery results. The officers poked around my apartment a bit before declaring the rest of the premises clear of weapons, bodies, or hazards. Though still supremely rattled, their confidence brought some comfort. After a few more questions, they hauled the knife away, promising to update me soon, then headed out. However, as the door clicked shut, a whole new fear set in. What else could be stashed in those smiling drawers? My formerly charming vintage piece now seemed ominous, lurking across the room. No way was I sleeping nearby those things tonight. Set up camp on the couch with Hallmark movies and pepper spray, close by just in case. A week later, I got the lab results. Traces of animal blood and tissue on an ordinary hunting knife. No human DNA or prints. Likely used for sport and stashed inside a second-hand desk from its previous unknowing owner. No known crimes associated, totally lethal knife. I breathed the biggest sigh learning I was innocent of anything sinister. Still plan to just toss that troublesome drawer or cellar, though. Too many memories. Think I'll stick to more a new particle word desk without the age and mystery. Less executive pizzazz, but also zero chance of surprise bodily evidence ever again. Worth it for peace of mind, you know. Think I'll be wearing off second-hand furniture for a while after this little ordeal of the heart. At least I can rest easy tonight, even if the desk keeps her secrets. My old iPhone 11 was just collecting dust in a drawer ever since I upgraded it. Seemed like a waste, plus I could use a little extra spending cash. Lightbulb moment. Toss that puppy on Craigslist to sell. Genius idea if I do say so myself. Should be an easy and lucrative transaction. I snapped some pics highlighting the pristine screen and a lack of scratches. In the listing, I was sure to hype up the impressive battery life and storage space. Made it clear I took good care of it and had the original packaging. Christed to move that fair $250, then crossed my fingers for some bites. A few lowballers messaged trying to talk me down. I stood firm, knew what I had. My ask was solid. Finally, an interested buyer named Terrence reached out near full price at $230. Said he desperately needed a phone for his kid's birthday gift. Okay, I can compromise a bit for such a worthy cause. We agreed to meet that night in the parking lot of the grocery store down the block from me. Nice, safe public place with plenty of light. Perfect spot for a quick transaction. I grabbed the phone, cords, and docks, then moseyed down to the lot at the agreed 7 p.m. Terrence texted saying he was on his way but caught in traffic, asking if we could push it back 15 minutes. Fine by me. Gave me time to scope things out, make sure nothing seemed sketchy or dangerous. But nah, just typical suburban personality-free lot with a few scattered cars. My neighborhood's pretty safe anyways, nothing to stress over. At 7:17 p.m., an old silver Civic pulled up. Showtime. A tall, lanky dude emerged wearing faded jeans and generic hoodie. He'd be a little chin nod as he approached. Yep, just a normal guy here to buy a phone for his kid's birthday, no biggie. I suddenly felt a tiny pang, hoping my old iPhone would make some youngster real happy on their special day. Glad I could help in a small way. Made me smile thinking I was doing a mitzvah. We exchanged quick intros, then I proudly showed Terrence the pristine phone, listing off specs and features as he inspected closely. Seemed satisfied, even impressed. He said his daughter would be thrilled and thanked me sincerely for my fair price. I grinned ear to ear like, yep, just here serving my community. Told you this would be an easy win. Time to handle biz. Terrence pulled out a modest wallet and started carefully counting bills. Benjamins, Jacksons, Grants, just simple cash exchanging hands. But suddenly, right as I grabbed the money, Terrence violently snatched the phone and took off running. Oh, hell no. My reflexes kicked in quick, though. I managed to catch his sleeve and yanked back hard, sending us both tumbling to wet pavement. Foam smacked the ground along with the cash that was now being soaked by salty slush. We angrily scrabbled around for furious seconds trying to grab anything within reach. My bellowing shouts echoed off the empty cars surrounding the scuffle. I distantly hoped someone would hear and get help. A reality was we were alone out here wrestling dangerously on cold concrete over a couple hundos and an iPhone. Through a panicked tunnel vision, I saw Terrence's pleading eyes as he desperately clung to my property for leverage against my weight on him. Fear and need commingled in his wild grimace. But no way, Jose. I wasn't letting this thief punk out of here with my phone or money. Adrenaline fueled my fists and feet, pinning him down while I tried prying the device from his clenched hands. He kicked and struggled something fierce, though. Dude seemed ready to risk life and limb to run off with this score. Meanwhile, I felt bruises blooming as we tussled. Had to end this quick before one of us got shanked or something. Just then, blinded by strobing red and blue lights, a patrol car came screeching into the lot, siren blaring. Never been so happy to see the fuzz. We froze. I flung accusations, shouting this perp tried robbing me. Terrence whimpered, pleading innocence with teary eyes, but evidence was stacked against him. The stern officer peeled us apart, allowing me to retrieve my waterlogged cash and dinged-up device. He gave my statement on the attempted theft, while Terrence hung his head in cuffs, swearing he just got mixed up in some bad confusion. Yeah, right. The cop wasn't having it, though, especially when he ran Dude's name and found a warrant out for past theft charges. Called for backup to come scrape the scumbag off the pavement and into a cell. I shook my head, gathering the last wet dollar bills as they hauled whimpering Terrence away. Felt a tiny pang, hoping his made-up daughter wouldn't be too disappointed on her birthday tomorrow. But evolved humans know stealing is weak sauce. Shoulder tried getting a legit job instead of swiping phones from law-abiding citizens. I trudged home, clothes damp and dignity rattled, but ultimately grateful I escaped relatively unscathed. After some hot cocoa and reality tea decompression, I shot off a salty 1-star review for Terrence on Craigslist buyer rating section. Definitely seemed fitting to warn other sellers in case that fool ever worms his way out of lockup. I then relisted my phone, this time insisting on meeting only at the crowded Panera next door, where we conduct the exchange right in front of staff and security cameras. Felt way safer, even priced it higher to make up for my troubles. Sold it 2 days later to a nice young college kid home for winter break. She happily showed off her new gadget to her real non-criminal mom over lunch while I watched cautiously from the counter. Warmed my heart a bit, restoring some faith in humanity. I know I can't let one bad apple ruin Craigslist for me, but call me paranoid. Next electronics sale, I'll definitely be checking for perps hiding in the Panera bathroom ahead of time. And maybe also bringing some backup muscle just in case. Doubt it'll go down smooth as this round, but can't be too safe with these streets, you know. At least I can rest easy knowing that while I sip my dozen-grain tea, Terrence is probably making some violent new friends in the slammer over state-issued mystery meat. Fine by me. Maybe dropping my entire rainy day fund on a used car from some rando Craigslist dude named Snake wasn't my smartest adult decision after months scouring sketchier and sketchier online local listings out of sheer desperation. But slim pickings couldn't deter me forever, since my essential restaurant job required personal transportation. I could no longer beg from coworkers after yet another creaky Buick kicked the bucket unexpectedly on this starving artist budget. So when Snake's listing popped up advertising a semi-recent model Nissan Altima in suspiciously gray condition under asking price, danger sirens muffled enough for me to hastily arrange a test drive before another hopeless wage slave beat me to the punch. Snake himself vibed exactly as anticipated for an aging motorcycle gang member. Leather-clad, myriad face tattoos barely masked by long, scraggly beard and mirrored shades, concealing soulless eyes even on overcast days. I convinced myself not to trip though, since the muscle car itself purred satisfyingly enough through initial loops around empty parking lots. After forking over a pile of hard-earned cash probably triple his last drug run payload, Snake counted bills with a toothless smile that turned my guts. Before speeding off with my dreams, he left a slimy lip print on my clenched hand and the wise words, "She's gonna run ya real smooth now, sweetheart. The open road's yours for the taking far as you see fit." Over next few weeks, buttery leather interior did deliver as promised, even absorbing overflow passengers from my service shifts without complaint. I nearly forgot Snake, and that lingering bad aftertaste altogether, as quality rides became daily expectation rather than odd luxury again. Until one fatefully sunny Friday when everything catastrophically crumbled all at once during my relaxed weekend commute home. Without the slightest sputtering pre-warning, plumes of thick black smoke suddenly billowed wild from the hood as the engine cut out completely mere blocks from my apartment off the busy freeway. Panicked, I cranked the hazards on and narrowly managed steering us to the gravelly road shoulder without getting pancaked by chaotic traffic. My asthmatic roommate poured out gagging as I frantically whipped my droid out to investigate what mechanical tragedy just torpedoed our unsinkable ship. That's precisely when I grabbed my phone to give that sketchy snake guy an epic piece of my mind, only to discover the fluorescent mirage of his shifty digits utterly failed to populate any single call log, text chain, or message history whatsoever. Despite that scumbag explicitly making grandiose balls-out claims mere days prior of being my loyal ride-or-die mechanical guardian, henceforth forevermore, ready at a moment's instant notice if anything on this beauty so much as squeaks or hiccups out a lying princess. Well, clearly the sleazy pathological liar never provided me with factual working contact details in the first place. He definitely scribbled down a meaningless string of bogus numbers solely to placate me temporarily before speeding off into the foggy horizon with my life savings locked greedily in his swindling claws. He even provided an utterly fake name for this phantom fantasy membership clearly. I could practically envision Snake proudly chuckling somewhere far out of my reach now, smugly imagining this inevitably traumatic stranded moment playing out perfectly after knowingly hustling me into buying a meticulously crafted flawless lemon. No doubt his ever-changing burner trap phones and constantly revolving identities kept an untraceable rotating wheel of clueless victims like myself trapped in doomed predatory cycles long after the immediate damage was brutally done and that deadbeat dad Juanabe vanished laughing. With gut-punch clarity, reality fully setting in that zero local garages offered flexible payment plans or assistance programs for deadly expensive mechanical diagnosis, I reluctantly began gathering up all the necessary insurance information and documentation to emotionlessly relay through miserable phone calls. But those life-saving details too somehow elusively dodged any record of our previous exchanges that I was legitimately 1000% positive Snake, and I had safely completed together. My signed vehicle title form and registration paperwork hit slyly magician it into my trembling, trusting hands, also now suspiciously lacked any traces of alleged driver identifying data upon further frantic investigation either. Shockingly, even the car's permit factory van info plate bolted firmly in place, which should have been my guaranteed ace for tracking manufacturing records, displayed a totally puzzling string of numbers that similarly failed to trigger any actual matches in multiple expansive federal government and insurance claim databases. So, in mere moments, my temporary beacon of literal salvation on 4 dependable wheels had a catastrophic ally morphed into the ultimate worst nightmare. I now suddenly held sole possession of an irresponsibly expensive immobilized vehicle nightmare rendered eternally untravelable junk, with virtually zero forthcoming paper trails or reliable clues leading back to previous shady owners. Owners who clearly understood far too intimately the eerily simple, untraceable procedures for slipping phantom rides into the eagerly gullible public stream like homicidal snakes, camouflaging effortlessly amidst clouds of exhaust fumes and mirage pavement heat distorting critical thought. And now the horrific reality was fully crashing down that I had also ignorantly funded creation of the perfect, forever untraceable crime transportation vehicle puppet on strings. Except the new master puppeteer picking up Snake's sinister play was gonna be little ol' me for all intents and purposes. At least as far as licensing bureaus and insurance investigators were concerned once claims started pouring in. The horrific epiphany manifested instantly that I had also funded creation of the perfect untraceable crime transportation puppet. Snake now held the ultimate power puppet strings without accountability while I embraced sole liability out on a pathetic limb all alone. Certainly, this engine-less danger on wheels, stinking of piss and illegal relics, had intentionally transformed owners many ruthless times before finding permanent residence foolishly under my gullible wings. Utterly crestfallen and disgusted in my astounding stupidity and desperation, ego-evasive street smarts, I immediately reported sinister suspicions to ever-jaded local police. But after a mandatory hour providing fruitless details in stale interrogation rooms, the bitter officers concluded Snake's departing promise indeed rang true in the most twisted demonic sense my soft innocent brain couldn't yet dare to envision. Thanks for listening in. If you like these stories and want to hear more, then please subscribe and like and support this new channel. We have more stories for you to listen to.